So we wrapped up another episode of The Genius Prince with episode number 6. And one of my favorite things about this anime this season specifically, besides that I think that this is like a breakout hit of the season, I would probably, this season overall, the winter has, animes like Demon Slayer continuing that's now over. We have Attack on Titan that's been continuing, and then My Dress Up Darling, which I really think that, in the nature of a wide audience, I really feel like those three are probably the top three anime of the winter. And this isn't just going from like my opinion, it's just kind of what I see on the internet, on Twitter, on different platforms and stuff, and just kind of what people end up talking about week from week. So I really think those are unequivocally kind of like the top three anime of the winter season. But the reality is winter season has like 28 29 total anime that have been premiering this season, and I really think that Genius Prince deserves to be like top 5 this season, because it's one of those animes that each and every week that like each and every week that I'm doing these reviews and I'm looking forward to it. Genius Prince, right behind My Dress Up Darling for me specifically, is the next anime that I'm looking forward to. And then right after that is How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Now, what's funny about those two animes is they're pretty yin and yang. How I feel like one took inspiration from the other. Now, I don't know which one source material wise came first. I don't know if one of them had a manga first, which one had a light novel first. I don't know what the derivative spot on which these took their sources from and then became an anime. Because we all say, oh, Genius Prince seems very much like another anime, but it could be to where Genius Prince could have came first. I really don't know. But regardless of that, I really feel like for me, it's really Genius Prince and How a Realist Hero Built the Kingdom. And the reason for being that is I think that Genius Prince really does a lot of what How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Like what that anime does is it dives into, again, the realism of rebuilding the kingdom. It introduces their audience to everything that the main character in that anime is doing, his methodical thinking, the steps he's going to take, how he thinks 10 steps forward. And then we end up seeing kind of those situations play out on whether or not he was correct or whether he was wrong. What Genius Prince, it doesn't dive all the way into that. 'Cause I mean, like, Realist Hero, like, really, like, deep dives into that. Genius Prince, I think, is in the pool, but didn't do a belly dive in the pool. You know what I mean? Like, it introduces us to those same concepts of how Prince Wine is thinking, how he's always kind of taking 2 or 3 steps ahead. And then we get to see those things play out. But what Genius Prince, I think, does really, really well is it also has this comedy factor above it, right? Like Prince Wine, he's whiny and he doesn't want to be a prince, and he's surprised when things work out. He has to deal with certain situations, like the other prince accidentally killing himself. He has to deal with with now new things getting thrown into his corner. Like, this episode he was asked to be one of the holy trinity, holy table of people, whatever. So he's constantly having to deal with these curveballs that he just wasn't expecting, that's essentially elevating him to a higher power. But that's not where he wanted to go. He didn't want to go and be in this higher power, but he's having to deal with it kind of like on the fly. And a lot of it, like this episode 6, there was no comedy this episode. Like, I didn't laugh this episode, but that was okay, because what we did get this episode was him heading to this festival and him, almost getting taken out. Well, not really, but him, an assassination attempt on his life by old freedom soldiers. Him fighting or finding freedom soldiers of the past nation that he had to overcome and overtake. Him, doing a deal with the freedom fighters of that past nation. Him, striking a deal, heading to this holy land. Him finding the people that attempted to assassinate him. Finding out that those people are generals and people of the king that he went to go meet. And as well as this is happening, there's like a coup or like a overthrow in his kingdom trying to happen right now within a bunch of noble families. So like there's all of these little intricacies that are occurring right now within the anime that he's prepared for and that he's not prepared for. And I think that's so cool because now I really want to see like what's gonna happen next. Like who are these population of these noble families wanting to take over the Natra kingdom? Who is this crazy lady who's getting off on trying to get at Prince Wine? Why did the king nominate him for this holy trinity, holy table of people? You know what I mean? Like, there's all these little moving parts that we have going on. And then at the same time, he has one of the Freedom Soldiers commanders, in his presence right now, trying to fight for somebody to come and help their army kind of reestablish themselves. So there's like so many different things that is occurring right now that just make this anime just really, really, really interesting. And like I just want more. Like I want, like, if I could watch another 2 or 3 episodes behind this one, I would definitely be like, yeah, let's freaking do that. So overall, like, I think each and every week I'm having a great time watching this. I don't think I've been disappointed by one episode yet. Even this episode that had no comedy, no funny moments, I think this episode was really, really good. And I think that is a really great balance between good writing, good directing, good storytelling, plot development, character development. The things that you want to see in an anime, this has been doing really well. Because like I said, we just had episodes that dealt with the same kind of things, but then had a huge layer of comedy spread over them. But when they take that away, it's still a really good anime, and that's what makes it special. Overall, though, I really enjoyed the episode. Like I said, I can't wait to see more of this new girl that they introduced this episode. I Nox or whatever her name is. I don't know what her name is again, but the Marlin freedom fighter general that's below the prince. I want to see more of her. I think she's really cute, and I can't wait to see more of her in action. I want to see more of the lady, the holy lady. She seems to get off on a lot of sinister stuff. I can't wait to see that more. And just want to see more of it unfold. All right, guys, I'll leave you guys on those thoughts this week. Let me know what your thoughts are this week's episode down in the comments down below. As always, I appreciate you being here. If this was fun, enjoyable, or you had a good time just reviewing the episode with me, make sure you guys leave me a like. Make sure you guys leave me a subscribe. And I'll see you, my friends, next week for episode number 7.